Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 2 of After Hours, where we're going behind the scenes, behind closed doors with different local fish store owners and various aquatic businesses to talk to awesome people like Kinny. We're in Knoxville, Tennessee at Aquatic Marine today. Those of you that have been, on the channel long know that this is my favorite local fish store, and I come here and see this guy a lot. But we're going to kind of dig a little bit deeper than what we normally talk about. So I've got, of course, Chattanooga Ed with me, my buddy, pal, and co-host. And you've got a partner in crime with you today.
This is Terry Davis, our business support manager. She's hanging out with us tonight to answer questions and just see what this is all about.
Absolutely. And I will let you know, I do have the chat. I know that was one of the issues last week, but I've got that. So we'll be keeping an eye on that.
And we are live.
And we are live. Yes, we are live. Yep, there we go. In broadcast, we are live. I'm not getting the live feed there, but this says we're live. So somebody confirm that for me, please and thank you.
Last time we went a half hour before we knew
we did. Well,
live.
It says we're live on there. I'm going to verify that on here. That way we don't do that again.
Well, Kenny, you want to tell us where your store is?
Go. We are live. Good.
Yes, we are at 6655 Clinton Highway in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're kind of nestled in between Target and Walmart behind the bed store. A little bit of uniqueness. It seems like all the fish stores in Knoxville have a unique parking lot or some way, so we're not exemption to that at all.
Absolutely.
So we do have a little bit of trickery, but if you're directly across from Target, if you're in the Target parking lot, look straight across between the car wash and the bed store, you would see us behind the bed store.
Yep.
And you have a cool clownfish up in front too.
Yes.
So if you guys are driving around, look for the clownfish. Turn at the clownfish.
Absolutely. Worst case scenario, pull into the Walmart parking lot. There's access from there as well on the side of the building.
That's how I park.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And we got new steps coming for over there, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Very nice.
We'll widen them up, a few handrails down, all concrete, better drainage around it. So we got some improvements going on outside as well.
Well, that is fantastic. And I know you've done a lot of improvements that you took over. I was a shopper at Aquatic Marine before you took the place over. It's been a year and a half.
Yeah, August of 2019.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's
been over
amazing.
2
It
years.
feels like you've done 5 years of improvement in a very short period of time.
Some days it feels like that.
Right.
But yeah, we've worked really hard. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. No, thank you. I mean, I was happy with it before, but it had kind of the old school local fish store where things just hadn't really changed much over the years. I mean, you've really freshened it up.
Thank you.
But if we've got some people on here that maybe haven't seen us talk with you before, you want to tell us a little bit about Aquatic Marine and how you got into owning a fish store?
I can say it was never part of my thing. I actually said multiple times, I'll never own a fish store. I will never own a fish store. And my son, Josh, our service manager, does not let me forget I said that, especially if I'm having a bad day. He's like, I thought you said you never own a fish store. But I do. But no, it's been fun. It's been challenging. COVID really pummeled us. That was just hard on everybody. We were blessed. I'm not going to deny that COVID probably helped several aquarium stores because we are an indoor hobby. And so that did help us. And I think that helped us afford some of the improvements we've done, as well as increase our staff and technology that we're using in the store. Not only in the store, the upgrades have been doing our service van. Yeah. So a lot of things going on. But, it was just kind of like we had all the pieces. See, we had Parrot Aquatic that started in 2014. And so we had all the pieces for the maintenance, coral, and fish, but we didn't have the retail part. And I guess that was the last validity piece that was missing for us, was to break down and do the retail. And so the gentleman that owned the store, built it for his son, long story short, but his son passed away. And then it kind of just, they weren't, the staff, just a lot of things could have been done differently. And so anyway, it kind of ran down just a little bit. And so we met and negotiated. It took a couple months to get it all worked out, but we bought it in 2019. I think it was August 25th or something. We took over the store, and with the intention of remodeling it and turning it around. And it's been a long, almost 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say, one of the things is you didn't just come at it from just being a businessman and going, I'm going to buy this business. Like you mentioned, you had the Parrot Aquatic going already. You were
Right.
in the aquatic industry, if you will. But you're also an avid hobbyist.
Right.
And that's what I love. So you were mostly in saltwater, correct?
Yes, saltwater. I started with freshwater. My first tank, rope fish, 55 gallon. We talked about that once before on one of the shows. That's what I started. And about 2 years in, I got into saltwater. And the next thing you know, it was just, I just love saltwater, never looked back. But I did have a big homemade plywood aquarium, 300 gallons, had some arowanas, learned my lesson about lids and little slits.
Right.
But, you know, so yeah.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, as somebody that's more focused on the saltwater side as a hobbyist, but somebody that owns a store that has a huge freshwater selection on top of that, how do you address that as the business owner and a hobbyist that knows that freshwater people, freshwater customers have different needs?
Okay. I go, hold on one second. Let me get you one of our freshwater experts.
That's exactly it. That's what I did. You have
Yes.
freshwater experts.
Terry is one of our freshwater gurus. She's come a long way in salt in the last 2 years, but Terry's been doing freshwater. She bred cichlids for a while, and she had several
bristlenose
things.
plecos, mollies, platies, and guppies.
Very
So
nice.
she has some breeding experience with freshwater that goes beyond. I've never, one time I thought I wanted to do clownfish, and I kind of got ahead of myself, and I'm admitting this on my video, but I bought a Mars system, had 9 little tanks in it, clay pots, 9 different sets of clowns, put it in. Then I started doing more research on it. I was kind of like, I ain't got time for this. So I sold the clownfish. But, you know, it's just, at first I thought it'd be really cool, but it's a lot of work. And, you know, we have Sustainable Aquatics right up the road. They've been doing it for years. So why try to reinvent that wheel?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we like supporting Tennessee businesses. So
Right.
our primary clownfish vendor is Sustainable Aquatics. They're in Tennessee. They support Tennessee families. We're in Tennessee. It makes the best business sense for our business to work with them. So that's what we do.
Well, absolutely. And it's not just the businesses that you support locally. It's also, you know, creators like Ed and myself and other Tennessee
Correct.
people.
Yep.
The fact that you've embraced, you know, social media, YouTube, your Instagram, and we'll get links for all of your platforms on here.
Some of that's been with my arm twisted behind my back
Right.
and Terry shoving it, because we've got to do, you know, there is a certain thing you have to do and a certain model direction she's put our social media in with a certain amount of posts each week, certain videos, different things like that. So there is a lot that goes into that, a lot of hours to keep everything created.
And trying to respond to everybody and just be
Yeah.
respectful and make sure you get back in a timely fashion to everybody. And it
Absolutely.
could be a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Believe me, I understand
Oh, yeah.
completely. Yeah, but I mean, that's one thing is, you know, we don't have an official partnership, but you have been, or an official sponsorship, but you've been a huge partner. You know, you're a member of my channel. I think I had maybe 80 subscribers when you took over the store, and you sort of like, hey, you know, I want to talk to you. I want to help you. I want to support
Right.
you. You're a part of the community, and you're a part
Exactly.
of growing the hobby, and that's something that you don't get a whole lot. There are a few local fish store owners, you know, Ed's and you, but that's something that I appreciate, and we really embrace, that you look at all facets of the hobby.
We appreciate that.
But in terms of some of the things you've done, you've brought in a lot of new products that haven't been available in the area. We've got some Extreme over there. You've been really innovative in trying to tend to everything needs-wise without stretching yourself too thin. You know, I can't think of a time that I walked in and said, well, I need this thing. And you're like, we don't carry that. We're not ever going to carry that. We're
Right,
not interested
right.
in that. So, like I said, we mentioned the Extreme. You know, we've got like the API products. You've got, I guess, do you want to tell people kind of what you cover in the store if they're coming to Aquatic Marine here
That's
in
a
Knoxville?
big order.
Yeah.
Yes, everything
not like
here.
individuals
Yeah.
necessarily, but you know, if they need, you
Yeah.
know, frozen food or
Right.
dry, you know,
Yeah.
but
I think that frozen food is probably our biggest selection. Our freezer on the left's got to have a little bit of work done to it, so we've been moving some stuff over. But our freezer selection, when full, has probably, I would like to say it's the largest selection. And I've actually had people send me from major stores in other cities pictures of freezers in other stores and going, they have no idea what, you can go a little bit further in if you want to, you know, what all we have and stuff. But But yeah, we work hard on the frozen food. We've grown our selection. We added Extreme a few months ago. We have Omega-1. We love Omega-1. It's American made, great stuff.
Carry sustainables food also
Yes.
for clownfish.
Yeah, the one thing too is that don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you've got a fish bred in captivity and the person that bred the fish has been feeding the fish the food that they make, it only makes common sense to continue to feed that fish what they have. I'm not saying don't round out the diet, throw in some isis or other blends to give the fish more of a rounded diet, but those pellets are created for sustainable clownfish or small fish. And they actually have a freshwater version now. We haven't picked that up yet, but they have some stuff coming out too, I believe.
Absolutely. And I mean,
but nutrition is probably one of our biggest things. We try to get everybody to feed a rounded diet. You feed the same fish, the same pellet for 3 years. He may be missing some amino acids or some minerals or things that may be in another form of food, whether it be occasionally some live blackworms, bloodworms, other sources of protein.
And I just want to add, our food selection wasn't that big until the community started coming in and telling us what they wanted to see in our store as far as what they could feed their fish. And so we listened to the community and we tried to get in what we could from, just hearing feedback from our customers.
Absolutely. And I've always found that amazing with you all. Anytime I've needed something, even to the extent of a lot of times a fish, if I'm looking for a particular fish, you say, well, James, let me know if you're looking for something and I'll see if I can get it off of a list for you. And I've always encouraged people with their local fish stores, if you don't see what you're after, see if the owner can get it. See if whoever's doing the order can get it. Because it might not be viable for you to keep, a half of it, which you do. Your Pleco selection is huge, and I love you for it. But it might not be viable for a lot of places to keep some of the mid-price Plecos, but they could get them if they were special requested. And that's not just for Plecos; that's for other fish.
And one of the things that Terry has worked on with our website is you can go to the top of the home screen. I should know this. Home screen, I think.
Service request.
Hit service request, livestock request button. You can send in your name, phone number, what you're looking for, how many, and what we'll do is she consolidates that into a list, and then every week when we order, we compare that list to the distributor's list, and if it's on there, we'll reach out to you. Sometimes we'll just order it. If it's a common Pleco or it's a big-bellied golf ball goldfish, whatever it is, if we see it, that'd be cool for the store. We'll just order 6 of them and call you when they come in and say we got 6 for you to come look at. No obligation, but you have to be patient. Sometimes week after week we go 3 and 4 and 5 weeks. Sometimes not even seeing some things on there. You'd think, where in the world are the neons, or whatever. It seems like every week for a couple weeks there's always that one staple, the one fish that you really want. And you can't seem to find it. So.
Now, I'm curious, I imagine it has, but has that gotten worse during COVID with being able to get fish in, or have you seen
certain things? Yes.
I think it was more of shipping logistics because they were prioritizing cargo. Terry and I were on a conference call a while back with one of our distributors, and they were prioritizing. This was back early in the pandemic, 6-8 months ago, 9 months ago. They were prioritizing air freight from other countries for pandemic supplies, food, medication, that kind of stuff. So livestock, fish, obviously it's not a staple unless it's a sushi tuna or something, but got pushed off, and their air cargo freight weight gave up to other people. And so getting stuff into the country for a while was a problem. But once it hits the States, everybody was so thirsty when they would get 50 or 60 or 80 boxes in, it just goes
gone
like that, because everybody's so thirsty for that livestock, because it finally got squeezed in through the barges and the gates and customs and everything else. And that's probably been the biggest challenge, is people not being patient with us, because believe me, we would not be here if we didn't have fish to sell. And that's our number one thing is, and I'll just say this, I have fought Isaac and Terry every tooth and nail bringing more dry goods into the store. I want to sell fish. I want to be known as the fish guy or the fish store.
And we want some of the cool stuff that's not fish.
But I'm all about the livestock, because I didn't get in, for me, everybody has their facet. How we look at things and do things. Like Terry's getting into ponds. We don't do ponds. We have koi. We have some pond supplies. but Terry's building this Colorado River down her yard.
It's built. It's built.
And oh, don't forget to check your things on the map. Anyway, whatever that is, Hysons or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, so she's built. So she's kind of into the freshwater koi scene, aquatic plants, and I just kind of like, yeah, great, it's awesome. You know?
I've already tried to talk him in. Like, we have a backyard, you know, we can set some ponds up back there.
That'd be cool.
That's down the road, but hopefully one day we'll be there.
She's still optimistic.
Well, I will say I've got to give you all credit. I did not come in here once during the whole pandemic thing and see empty tanks or where you had like 6 tanks of the same fish because you were filling space.
Right.
You all maintained a great selection the whole time. That was greatly appreciated.
Well, I have to give hats off to Isaac, our store manager now. He is absolutely a freshwater guru. He has come. He started working for us just a few weeks after we bought the store, probably like September maybe. I don't remember the date he started. And then you started October, maybe, or September, October.
I started coming in September and then got hired on in October.
Okay. So, yeah, they've both been here about the same amount of time. Terry did take a break for COVID, kids, different things going on, you know, child care, risk assessment, all that. So, but she's back with us, has been for several months now. But, so, yeah, just a lot of things are always moving. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're
I've
fine.
got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. I know you've got some. Go for it.
Yeah, we were talking about how you hired people. We've got a lot of people that would probably love to work in a store like this.
Right.
What is the process of trying to get a job in a fish store? What do you guys look for?
First thing is make sure they don't smell like a fish tank. I'm kidding. But no, I don't, you know, for us, we've been very fortunate. You know, Isaac had retail pet background. We hired him. Terry had her breeding experience, and I can't recall. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Just a hobbyist, and
Okay.
I mean, I've done small retail, but nothing like, you know, big retail like this. It was always mom and pop shops, and
Sure. So, you know, it's really hard to say. All I can say is fill out your application. You can use our email address is on the webpage, info@aquaticmarine.net. Feel free to send it in. We were reaching out for applications. We just kind of haven't really.
well, we do recommend that you know the basics of the nitrogen cycle. We would really prefer you to be 18 or older, but we don't discriminate. And then you need to at least be able to lift 50 pounds. So just like some basic stuff that we really would like, but we're not going to discriminate if you don't. We are willing to teach you. So.
Awesome.
And some of the work is monotonous, cleaning tanks. As you know, you have a couple of tanks at your house, but and as James does too. But you know, cleaning tanks is probably that's the biggest challenge is keeping everything, because you know you get busy with customers. There's 3 or 4 of you here. You can't always plan for that insurgent rush. But yeah, if you're interested in a job, please feel free to fill out, send your resume in to info@aquaticmarine.net. I don't know that we're going to pull the trigger on anybody right now. And I would say this, if I can, love on all your local fish stores, wherever you are right now. Skip Petco or some of the bigger companies. I shouldn't have said that, but skip some of the larger box brands and go visit your local fish stores, because right now, majority of us have had to go to graduations, pay for kids' prom. We've had to do all these other things that come with the end of the school year. Dollywood passes, all these other things. So you're kind of neglecting your fish tank a little bit. But just remember, your community fish stores have been there for you all year through the pandemic. So if you get a chance in the next little while, go visit them. At least call them something, just encourage them, because everybody is still doing vacations and things like that. And that's not just for Aquatic Marine. That's for any local fish store in your area. I'm sure they are all seeing a little bit of a dip. But we do it every year. It's historically, even looking back at the records before we bought the store, you know, into school year, May, June, until it gets really good and hot and everybody goes back inside.
Absolutely. And that's actually, it's the same thing for YouTube. In all honesty, this is where the views kind of dip off this time of year.
Okay.
Because people want to go do other things. They're not going to watch the videos as much.
Right.
So that's totally understandable that the business is going to see the same trend with the same hobby.
I think she's seen some of that trending with our Facebook, maybe just a little bit in the number of likes and the
It
number.
fluctuates.
Yeah. Yeah,
especially around holiday weekends and stuff. Like, I mean, it's just
I haven't been
something
getting.
you have to expect.
Yeah, I haven't been getting as many hearts lately as I used to.
Well, you got our hearts, Kenny. So
Thank
how
you,
about
thank you.
that? We did have a question from MedCal74, and I had to look up the common name on this. Sorry, it took me a second. But MedCal says, I see the extreme food sitting there. I've only ever used the big boy for my mbuna. What would you recommend for McGill frittatas in their fried? So that is
Fry?
Yeah, I like the Nano. So I'm a huge fan of the Nano. That is the blue-eyed rainbow. I think they get about 2.5 inches, right? We're gonna double check that. Yeah, so about 2.5 inches. So it's a small fish, anyways. I really like the Extreme Nano. It's got really good protein to it, especially for fry. I forget that they have the little ones because I always buy the big ones because of all the guppies and the babies.
Oh, it is pretty small.
But that would be my recommendation. It's a 0.5, 0.5 millimeter, so 0.5 millimeter pellet. Super fine stuff. And if you need it like powder for them, you can always just kind of twist your fingers as you sprinkle it, and it just powders out for the fry.
We have a lady that comes in, and I think she has a sorority of bettas, and she's breeding a little bit. I don't know. I've never bred bettas, but she has a big sorority of bettas, and she was telling me she buys. I don't think it's the Nano; it's a different brand, but she has this little marble roller that she uses, and she'll sprinkle the fish food on the counter, and she'll crush it down, make her little powder, and scrape it into her little cup, mix it, and put it in a pipette and feed. Absolutely. So you can be creative, even if the pellet size is a little larger than you'd like. It's still a great quality food. They put a lot of time and energy into this.
Even the flakes.
Yeah. Well, I do that. I use a big bolt and I shake it.
There you go.
In a cat treat thing and make it all powdered. But this is my favorite extreme product. I buy this from this store, and it's the shrimp. It's absolutely my favorite. I mean, I've got Shrimp King and Northfin. The shrimp eat this so much quicker.
One of my goals this week is for us to work on shipping extreme out of the store. That's going to be a first for us. We haven't shipped anything out of the store. I hope it becomes time consuming. I hope it becomes job creating. But, a lot of our stuff is available on the website, ships out of a warehouse in Kernersville. But, what was I saying? Sorry. Shipping. Yeah, we're going to start shipping extreme this week. Hopefully. That's the plan. Got to get some shipping supplies in here. But if you need extreme, just keep an eye out for a post from Terry.
How about fun stuff like this?
There you go. That is really cool. I'm gonna let Terry talk a little bit about these. Her and Tia,
our Isaac. Saltwater specialist, and then Isaac had part in it. But I mean, they're awesome. Who wouldn't want? I mean, if you can't have a big pleco like that, so just take a little plushie home and stick it to the side of your tank. Kids love them also.
A fish for your car.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was thinking when you were holding that up there, Ed. I was thinking, hang that by your rearview mirror or something.
Well, can people order these off your website, or eventually they will be?
Hopefully. I mean, she's got a request in we got a sample box, if you will. We've only got a limited supply, maybe 6 or 8 left. But now we are working on bringing the whole line in, I think.
Bringing the whole line in, and hopefully, fingers crossed, our own custom plushie. We're not sure of what it will be yet.
Guess we're live now.
Oh, yeah. But hopefully it'll be just for our store only. So that'll be cool. Nobody else will have it.
But we will not reveal what the discussions are.
That's super cool.
I just want to point out, I know you've got more questions, and I'll give it right back to you, but I just want to point out, I know we have a lot of people that don't have a local fish store. They don't have a mom and pop store. Some of our viewers don't even have a nearby chain store. So that's a great way, with online ordering, that they can support a local fish store. They can support, homegrown small business that they can't support normally. I am going to grab a couple super chats real quick because I don't have a way to get back to them once they're gone. Huge thank you to Colin's Critter Cave for the $1 super sticker with that beautiful forest of trees. Love it. Appreciate you as always, Colin. Fish Tank Barn coming in with the $4 super sticker with the cup of coffee. I don't know if I need another cup of coffee. I might be bouncing off the walls. I appreciate you, Mike. Looking forward to doing our next saltwater series video with you. Metcalf74M throwing a buck at us. Nothing on there. Just throwing some money. I appreciate you. And I hope that answered your question well for you. And IHSPS's Tank Tribe with the $1.49 super sticker with the hearts. As always, appreciate you very, very much. Sorry I don't have the party poppers for you. Remind me next stream and I'll get those out to you. But I love you guys and I thank you very much. Let's see, highlighted here. Biscotti Nanya says, Fisher and Fever, I'd love to work there. Way better than Pet Supplies Plus. LOL. Too bad you guys don't have a store in Colorado Springs.
Now, how far is Priscilla though from Colorado Springs? She's in. I think she's in Boulder. So I don't know where that is for sure in Colorado. That might be 10 miles or 10 hours away. I have no idea.
Absolutely. And if you do have questions, and you put, of course, at Fisher and Fever, that'll highlight for me so I can grab those, and we'll be happy to take those questions. But Ed, I'm going to turn it back over to you because I've done a lot more talking this week.
Can I just say something real
Yeah,
quick?
absolutely.
Our plushies are all handmade.
Awesome.
They
are the Green Pico. I always want to say Green Mountain because of the coffee company. But
I actually own this one.
Oh,
It's stuck to my 200.
Oh, wow.
awesome.
I've got the blue version. We got them at the Big Fish deal.
Yeah, last year. Super cool.
That's
and I
awesome.
bought one for a Christmas present for somebody too.
That's
So-
awesome. They are great gifts.
Yeah, I only seen them at a convention, so that's really cool.
Yeah, we hope to have them soon.
This guy.
Yeah.
I tell you what. This guy. I looked and I was like, what? $50 super chat.
I was,
Aquatic Marine.
I was getting the elbow from Terry. She's like, don't forget. I'm like,
Kinny.
okay, yeah.
That's never necessary. I
I know.
appreciate everything you do.
But I believe in what you and Ed are doing too. I mean, this is important for all of us that love this hobby. The communication, the camaraderie, the help, the support. I'm not right all the time. Terry's right more than I am, but
Yeah.
nobody knows it all, and we learn something every day. And I
Every
tell
day.
people every day, that's the one thing I love about this hobby. I learn something every day. And if you have that attitude, it's an amazing buffet of things that you can learn and enjoy if you just have the right attitude.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what Ed and I say pretty much every week. We're not experts. We simply talk off of our experience. We're fortunate to have a lot of it. One, because of the years, and two, because of the amount of tanks that we keep. When you keep 30, 40, 50, 80 tanks at a time, you're getting to small fish store level, so you get a lot of experience. But we learn new stuff all the time. I don't think a week goes by that we don't learn something from our viewers, and we absolutely love that. I mean, it really is, the camaraderie. It's not us coming on here so much to teach you as it is to share the hobby and help each other. You all help us just as much. I love you for it.
And as a customer, don't discount your input. When you walk into a store and you have an issue and you're looking for discussion and further education and help and assistance, we may look at you like you've got an extra horn on your head for a minute. We process what you're trying to describe and tell us. And this goes back to one of our previous videos. Bring a picture in, bring some pictures in, white lights, blue lights, whatever, different random things. Do everything you can to bring as much information. And your phone is probably the second to your water test, is the most powerful thing you can use when you're coming to the fish store. So just don't feel like you do not contribute or your question is stupid. Please come in and talk to somebody.
And don't feel discouraged because something is not working for you, but it's working for somebody else, because that happens all the time. I've had stuff that's worked for me, but Isaac doesn't work for Isaac, and vice versa. So it's all in learning and just experience and new things. And
Yeah, no, I agree. We say that all the time. What
Yeah.
works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
that's exactly it.
There's dozens of ways to skin a cat, not just
Yeah.
a few.
right.
I was just say, even to the point that you all have a different water supply than I do, and I'm 3 minutes from here. You're on a different municipal system, so you're
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't just because it works here doesn't mean it works in my water 3 minutes away.
Right.
We are working. We will not share anything at this point, but I do want to mention Aquacon.
Yeah.
We do have a Aquacon trademark, and we did try to plan something last year with a tent, the whole 9 yards. Things kind of got wonky with COVID and just everything that was going on, and we just made the decision to put it off. We're looking at a fall date. It's kind of late in the spring to try to pull something off. We're still just out of the edge of COVID. We still probably have 25, 30%, maybe 35% of our customers still wearing masks. A couple of customers have asked us to put masks on. We do it sheerly out of respect. And it's not an obligation. We don't have to. but we do it sheerly out of respect. If you ask us to put one on, our staff has them around the store, and we'll grab one. We want everybody to feel safe. We do ask people to still kind of social distance a little bit, just so people can have their comfort zone. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, so Aquaticon is coming. We got to buckle down on that. May I mention the food trucks?
Yeah, go right ahead. Oh, and this is the first time it's officially been mentioned that you are the backstage secret person behind it. People have guessed at it, but it was never officially like,
we've been keeping it real tight.
Yeah, we've been real tight for
I got you.
a while. So
Okay.
now everybody knows. I'm glad that they do, and I can speak freely about it.
About the food trucks?
Well that's
Aquaticon.
yeah, I mean, obviously the food
yeah,
trucks.
Yeah. So we came up with the idea, I don't know, a month or so ago, and we had the electrician put in 30 amp and 50 amp outlets on the front of the corner of the building, and we're going to start hosting food trucks. I think we have our first one scheduled. She's still working. We don't have anybody next weekend yet, but we may try to find somebody. But we've got our first date in July or something. Japanese sushi truck or something's going to be here.
Okay.
We're going to work on getting some folding tables and chairs, and then, and we with Terry and her outlook on our business support, we're not only trying to do the food truck here for just us, we're doing it for the car wash, the bed store, all of our local neighbors, the community in general, yes. But we're also going to take flyers and give them to the other businesses so that their employees, even though if they're not fish hobbyists, they can take the opportunity to come get something for lunch that's not one of the regulars we all hit around here day after day.
Absolutely.
So Terry's got some more exciting things coming with that. I think she may have reached out to a flower truck person and sweet trucks and some other stuff. So those will probably right now be on Saturday events. But we'll do the first one is on our Facebook page, but you can just come and get fishing. What do you call it? Fishing?
Dive in and dine.
Dive in and dine. I like
we
it.
need to make sure we got to make sure that's not patented.
But it's neat that it's a sushi truck right off the bat. Do you get a deal on your lost fish with them?
I mean, I eat sushi, so it doesn't matter. It's never a lost fish around here. But we need to check on that because isn't that, what's his name that does that cooking show? Anyway.
That's dives and
drive. Okay, yeah. That's
diners, drives, and dives.
Okay, I was getting confused. We're probably okay. But anyway, just what we're talking about. Sorry.
Well, different things that your shop does.
Yeah.
Another thing that you guys have been talking about doing that I'm definitely going to be interested. I'm going to try to bring my dad too, just because I think he'd love to just get out of the house. Is you've been talking about doing a Saturday morning introduction to saltwater.
Correct.
You want to tell us what that is?
You want me to take that? Okay, I'll take it. So we're working on curriculum right now for saltwater and freshwater aquariums for anybody who wants to start the hobby. So the way we're going to structure it is there's going to be, it's either going to be through our Square service app for our mobile maintenance divisions app, if that works better for us to integrate with the webpage, or we're going to do appointments through Facebook. But we're going to set it up for anywhere from possibly 10 to 12 people. And then on 2 Saturday mornings a month, we'll come in early at like 10 o'clock. And what we'll do is everybody will reserve their seat. So we'll have a pamphlet folder brochure for you. We'll use the TV we installed primarily for the class that's behind us. And we'll do PowerPoint presentations. It'll last about 45 minutes. We'll answer all your questions. But you pay $10 to reserve your seat. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't show up, you don't get a refund. It's just a non-refundable thing. We will use your money for donuts. But the $10, if you attend this class and you do everything, you get a $10 gift certificate. So you're not losing any money. You're going to use whatever you have toward something in the store that's going to help you with the hobby. So we're not really charging into the class. We're just trying to keep the no-shows at a minimum. Absolutely. Because it is a lot of effort and time for us to put everything in. I have to pay people to come in and set up and teach
and there could be a waiting list.
Correct.
Let's be honest. If you've got 10 people in here, the $100, it's going to cost you more than $100 probably to do the thing every day. Oh, yeah. So it's not like this is a moneymaker. This is something that you're doing to help the hobby and the community.
Correct.
And like you said, that's just making it so you're not here with 2 people when you've put in all the effort to do it.
And a schmuck like me, that's going to be super nice because I've never done salt. My whole life. So that's super cool.
Well, the other part of that is that you not only get that, but we get to build a relationship with new customers, and they can come back and talk to us. They can bring the book back if they have questions, whatever we need to do. We want to be a very strong community outreach for our customers and just our community in general.
Absolutely.
We've talked about now that COVID's over, possibly preschool tours, things like that for some of the smaller schools and things, just to be more active in the community. So we got a lot of things in the works.
Definitely. Well, and I think that's important, not just because we've had the physical barriers with everything going on, but because that's also created some mental barriers.
Correct.
So you're really, like you said, you're getting a chance to get kind of one-on-one, if you will, and kind of open those doors and bring that communication in, and kind of get people back used to talking to other people and asking the questions and getting with you all and not being afraid to say, hey, I need help,
Right.
and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Ed, do you have any more questions?
Well, okay. Now, earlier you mentioned that you had, was it Parrot Aquatics?
Yes.
Or Aquatic and Services?
Just
Or
Parrot Aquatic. We did
Okay.
everything.
so when you say
Not Freshwater.
everything, what does that mean? What for the people?
Our primary thing started out design consulting. I have a telecom engineering background, and a lot of those same principles pour over into aquarium hobbies and framing and different things like that, and stands, different things. So I used some of that. We started out doing custom builds and just troubleshooting for people. I was actually doing maintenance for a few people that knew I was in the hobby for a long time, and it kind of just evolved into maintenance, making a little bit extra money to support myself in the hobby. And then my son got interested, and he started working with me, and he started driving his little Honda Veloster with 5-gallon water jugs in it and doing water changes. And we did a couple custom builds. And so that's kind of where we just kind of started, was more of the custom builds. And that's one thing we were lacking on our webpage right now. And Terry and Josh met Friday to get more of our custom builds. We have some pretty impressive things we've done, but we just have not prioritized and taken the time with everything else we've had going on to really advertise that for ourselves. So we're working on that right now as well.
But
Now-
Parrot Aquatic grew from
Correct.
that to
Aquatic Marine. Yep.
So now, do you is this for businesses, like a restaurant, or is it for houses? Or?
We do anything and everything. We do have our minimums for service. Depending on where you are in Knox County, it's either $79 or $99 just for a basic, 55-minute service and allow us to get there, because cost of getting an employee or employees and the cost of gas to get them there is the biggest expense most of the time. So, if you're having problems with your light meter, we have a light meter. We'll come out. We'll take all your readings for you in that 55 minutes if that's what you want us to do. If you got gurgling in your plumbing and you want us to bring Josh and our crew has what's that camera thing? Snake camera.
Yeah.
He uses to inspect overflows quarterly for our customers. Sometimes people will call and say, I got gurgling noise. We go over and we find a random crab shell or something that's gotten down in there, and he's able to extract that and avoid an issue. So we offer all kinds of services when it comes to basically
commercial
anything.
and residential.
Yes. Thank you, Terry.
Awesome.
Commercial, residential. We do Red Lobster stuff sometimes. So yeah.
Now, if it's is it Chevy? Not Chevy.
Chewy?
Cheddars.
Cheddars.
I don't know if who does their tanks, but like a place like that always has a fish tank in every one of the restaurants. Would you pick the fish for them, or do they give you a list? Or
Cheddars is pretty much a cut and dry. We tried for a long time to get that account, and they've got a great guy doing it. I'm not sure who he is, but I talked to the regional managers for a period of time. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but he's doing a really good job. So as a fellow competitor, I can't hate on him for doing a good job and keeping the customer happy. So I just wanted to let them know we're here if something ever happens and you need us. Their loyalty to him is commendable. And I hope that if we ever get the opportunity to bid on something like that and we get those jobs, that they'll be that loyal to us, because we're going to work our heinies off for them. So, but yeah, Cheddars they're pretty much a staple. But yeah, a lot of times the customers will dictate, but sometimes customers will come in, and if they want a custom build in their home or something, they know they want Nemo or Dory. If it's saltwater, that's always usually the first two fish that are announced. So we know there's kids involved at that point. There's been a couple times there's been adults that are just into the movie, but so that kind of automatically points us in the direction of a mixed reef is what I'm thinking. But some people don't want the corals; they just like the activity of the fish. So it's really, we do let the customer kind of lead, but we do have to guide on what we think will do well based on the size of the aquarium.
awesome.
Yes. I'm going to grab a couple things from the chat here. T-Bone's Fishies, I appreciate the $5 super sticker with the how's it going extra size pair hanging out. Thank you. Always a pleasure to see you. Got another one down here. We've got a couple questions, and I will get to those. Sean Chadwick, that $3 thumbs up fist bump pair. Sorry, I can't get all the way up to the camera. I appreciate you, Sean. Now, Mrs. Fever, Shy had a question for you.
Okay.
She said, with things returning to a degree of normalcy, will you start doing the coffee and donuts events that you were doing certain weekends, especially now that you're planning to do these classes?
I want to.
I like donuts. I'm just saying.
Do I have a choice at this point? This is live.
I mean,
I guess we're going to have donuts and coffee.
Yeah,
Thanks, Shy.
Yeah.
No more fish for you. No, we're gonna do whatever we need to do, and I don't have a problem bringing it back. It's just I think it'll probably be another 4 to 6 weeks before I'm really comfortable with that because it is a food item. COVID's still around.
Oh, for sure.
And just and I think we would have to designate somebody to serve with to do it right to keep it somewhat clean. But yeah, we're not opposed to that. I don't think. We just got to have enough staff on the weekend to do that.
Apparently, we're big stars. Somebody said that we should do a celebrity signing and meet and greet with Ed and myself here.
We'll be at Aquashella in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
are you guys
Not that we're
going?
stars.
we are going, and we're not. Yeah, we're going. But no, there's some real stars that come here. At least in my opinion, you got people like Sean Peck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some others. I know now
I met
the cat's
Scott
out of
Crow.
the bag, and I can say that it's you that's hosting Aquacon. We've got people like Bob Steenfott that are wanting to come. I won't list all the others, but John at KG Tropicals has talked about coming. A lot of awesome people,
And
so
let me say
that would
this.
be the thing to like. If you're only going to go to one thing this year, I would kind of start thinking about that.
I don't have one of Terry's cards in front of me, but you can send your email in. But let me say this: if you would be interested in possibly volunteering for a day or two for Aquaticon, we need to start now getting a list. So if you're interested, if you can remember Terry, Terri, at aquaticmarine.net, and send her your information and say, hey, keep me posted on the dates for Aquaticon, and she can start a list. You can send it to info@aquaticmarine. If you forget, message on Facebook. We'll get back to you on that too. But just shoot us an email, name, phone number. We're probably looking at like maybe setting a tent up on Thursday, Friday, tables, chairs, that kind of thing, and temporary fencing and the ticket booths, that kind of thing. So we got to figure out some logistics there. But if you're interested in volunteering and helping, we're also going to there'll be tables available for sale. We haven't got all the logistics, so don't bombard us yet. Give us a month or two. But we're going to have tables for rent. We're going to have our YouTube table guys. We may even have a celebrity dunking booth. Was a discussion that was made the other day. Not only would you have to pay to dunk somebody or try to dunk somebody, you have to pay to go in the tent with it and watch, because the celebrities may be wearing mermaid outfits. But so there's some creative things in the works for Aquaticon.
Absolutely. Ames Spiritfish has a wonderful question. Says, will they ever do the saltwater intro virtually, your Saturday classes, so that those who don't live in Tennessee would be able to learn from them?
That's a really good idea.
Wow.
Yeah, and that'd be on your channel.
Who is that?
Sub
That
to the
is
channel.
Ames Spiritfish.
Ames Spiritfish are now blacklisted. I don't need anything else to do. No, thank you. That's a great idea.
It
And
is.
I'll defer that to Terry. If you don't hear anything back on that in a couple weeks, feel free to reach out to Terry. But yeah, that is a good idea. We got to finish the slideshows. They are in the works. So I don't see why we couldn't do that virtually.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if it's
Oh, yeah.
not,
Do we still get the $10? Ask him if we can still get the $10.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
well, I feel like that's one of those things that it wouldn't even necessarily have to be live. You could just set up the thing, record it, and then upload it to your YouTube or wherever, and that way you've got a library of information people can come to.
Yeah.
That could probably even be on the webpage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely something and I, of course, would be willing to help any way I can. But I like that, and I appreciate you bringing that up, Ames.
Yeah, that's a great one.
All right, I've got all the highlighted questions. If I missed anything, please feel free to throw it back in there. Put at Fish Room Fever, and it'll stand out for me. Because if you didn't put it, I probably didn't see it.
Now we've been here, they've been here all day,
Yeah,
so we don't want this to go too long.
Yeah.
How are we doing on
It is
time?
8:01, so about 14 more minutes.
We're
That'll
good.
put us at an hour.
Okay.
That'll let y'all get home because bless your hearts, like you said, it's been a long day for you all.
They've been here super early in the morning.
Inventory was kicking our hindies this weekend, so we were trying to get some things done.
I can understand that. Well, is there anything that we haven't touched on that you all would like to cover?
We love the hobby.
Yeah.
Terry, anything?
Come see us.
Yeah.
Our coral selection, we have quite a few corals that came in this week, but I will say Terry and Josh are also working on scheduling upgrades. There's sumps. We've got sumps, ATOs, a lot of new upgrades. Apex Trident stuff.
I was about to say,
in.
hopefully the Apex is becoming really soon.
So we got a lot of things that are going to be upgraded. And you know what's funny is when you walk into your local fish store and you look around and go, man, they ain't done nothing in here. Sometimes you just never know what goes on behind the scenes. Like week before last, $800 booster pump. Just walk in one morning and there's water on the floor, and thankfully didn't drain the whole RO tank, but $800 later, we were back up and running. So you just never know when you think a fish store's not doing anything. I promise you they are. There's stuff you just don't see. And so a lot of people won't see the upgrades we're getting ready to do, but it's a very expensive project. Josh and Terry didn't really spare any expense. but we're going to see some upgrades. So just know your fish store is working hard. I can promise you that. I don't care what store it is. There's stuff going on every week that they're having to deal with.
Well, and do you want to tell them about your water system? I'm surprised you haven't touched on that because I know that thing is your pride and joy around here.
That should be a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 1,000 gallon per day RO system, 1 cubic yard of concrete, pre-filtered by a 10-inch, 4-inch block, pre-filtered by a sediment filter before it even hits our RO. And then so our water's ultra pure going into the membrane, and then it gets membraned down into RO and RODI, and then we mix it and stuff. But yeah, our water quality is top notch.
So I don't know if you want to touch on that one regarding Kentucky.
I have talked to the gentleman. I don't have his name right in front of me, but I did talk to the gentleman that set that up, and we have been in contact, and did ask him to cease and desist for right now using that name because it is trademarked. I have no hard feelings. Please hear me when I say this. We have no hard feelings whatsoever with this gentleman. His heart's in the right place. They're a fish rescue. We are planning, Isaac and I are planning to go up possibly next week and look at the convention center. We may get involved with that show in Cave City, but that's a project that we didn't capital budget for anything for. And this was kind of like, I feel like I'm being rushed into it, but we are going to make the trip one day next week, and we are going to go visit with them, look at the convention center and talk about it. And we may even work out something with them on the graphics and whatever for Aquacon, but that is not our sanctioned event.
You know what? We don't know what the question was. I can guess what.
I'm sorry.
No, it was just the mention of Aquacon in Kentucky.
Yeah, there was a show that they popped up.
Yeah, because I know it's been brought up a couple other times. Anytime we mention Aquacon,
that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, sorry,
the same name being used.
And I want to put it out there, not to throw the numbers out there, but like you mentioned, it's trademark, and trademarking is expensive.
Yes.
So after investing all that money, that's part of why that came into play.
And
we support all fish shows. We're not discouraging that.
Well, and when we decided to do this as a team, we structured it so that Aquacon would be another entity under Parrot Enterprises LLC, and what DBA has. Because this is not the only place. We'll see how this show goes, but if it's like other stuff we touch, I think it's going to go really well. So Terry has been working really hard on reaching out and making connections with all our vendors, of both the old ones and the new ones, trying to get geared up for stuff that's coming, other events. We may have meet and greets with other reps at different times and things like that. But just know that Aquacon will be great.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm looking so forward to it.
There was so much planning that we had going last year leading up to it. And of course, the pandemic that, we were
down to orange barrier fencing and,
and
ticket boxes. We had a lot of, so we can pick those notes back up and kind of reinvent that a little bit. But we've got our driveway fixed last week. The curbs got fixed. They've still got to come back and do some resealing and striping. We're going to try to get food trucks in here sooner than July. but we got to get in the rotation. A lot of them are already booked up. So yeah, a lot of things going on.
And it's always been that way. I mean, just like I've shown it before, that Betta wall that you built. I mean, that was a big investment just to have a legitimate place to have bettas. And I forget exactly how many cubes it is, but it's quite a few. And that's a lot of space just for bettas.
I'd have to get you a freshwater expert to answer that.
Exactly.
He's over there.
James and I, we go to dozens of fish stores. We're always going because we love to travel and we hit everyone we can. I don't know if anybody else has a Flugel wall. A wall of Flugel.
Yeah.
Now it's the rounded Flugel. What's that called?
The Flex.
The Flex. Yep. A whole wall of Flugel Flex. It is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if we have time for that, but there's a story behind that, Matt. Quick 2 minutes.
Go right ahead.
The Flugel Wall that Ed's talking about, maybe he can take a picture and post it later or something. But I actually bought one segment of that. Actually, I bought both segments.
Mm-hmm.
Bought one and had it set up at Parrot Aquatic. Sold it to a guy who was going to breed bettas in Harriman. And then a couple months later, after I bought the store, he contacts me and wants to know if I want to buy it back. So we bought it and put it over there. And then the people that had the second unit that I lost contact with, I never was able to go pick up, came in about a month after. Next thing you know, boom, we had both pieces. So it's kind of like they followed me around the market a little bit. But
Well, and I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be really odd if it wasn't one of those. But one of those setups was listed on Craigslist.
Yes, it's probably me.
I looked at it, and it was an inch too tall to fit in the designated fish area because of the ceiling being lower in that part of the house. And I was
you didn't tell me about it.
Well, here's the thing. Those are all made out of ABS plastic and glass. So the nice thing is it'll never rot. It will be there for forever. So it's a no-brainer. If you find something that's all ABS, fish related, buy it. That's a winner.
So just real quick, just to clarify, asking about the location for the Aquacon.
It will be right here in the parking lot. That's the plan. 40 by 100 Kent, I think is what it was. And then food trucks, lower parking lot. We'll have to rope this one off. So we'll be parking in the lower lot. But yeah, definitely here first time.
And that is 6655 Clinton Highway, Knoxville, Tennessee. But come on down before then and check them out. Just real quick, just a rough guesstimate, because some people maybe have not seen the tours that we've done here. About approximately how many freshwater and saltwater tanks do you have? Because they're seeing this. They're going, that's some pretty stuff back there. But the whole other half of the store is fish tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even know. There's 18 in the Flugel Wall. I know that. Yeah. And then our Daz Wall is 8 banks. I know it's 8 banks long. And then our Cichlid Island has 9 banks. No, 6 banks. 4 or 6 banks.
6.
Okay. So yeah, Cichlid Island is 6 big.
I mean, there's over 100 freshwater, right? Or am I exaggerating that?
I don't think so. No. Between all the cichlid and the freshwater wall and the Flugel and the bettas and the 300, and I think you're probably close.
Yeah, it's amazing how many you had. I just wanted this little bit that you're seeing is just kind of a side section. It's not even the main fish area. So.
Yeah.
We finally got the cylinder tank on the bottom glass. We got to still pull it off and put styrofoam under it. We're waiting on some glass pieces Terry has ordered to go on the inside because I have to put a new seal plate in it. But it was here for a while. My arm still gives me fits, so it took me a little while to get the courage to really work my arm hard to get in there and do what needed to be done. But I had some people helping me and yelling at me the whole time. But
absolutely,
we had it done.
2 things I want to address real quick, and then I'll turn it back over to Ed. One, Ames, you did not offend at all posting that. I only brought it up because people had been mentioning it in prior streams, and I did not feel it was my place to speak on. So while I had the man right here, I figured we would go ahead and address that. But a great question here. Select Pet would like to know if you are open Memorial Day.
We are open, yes. Terry, we can take that. Yes. We're open 11 to 7.
11 to 7.
Yes.
We're open all weekend and Monday.
Like our page if you haven't. She did post something about Memorial Day today, I think. So if you haven't liked our page, keep up with us there. Yep.
Absolutely. And that was on Instagram?
Facebook and Instagram.
Yep. And I've got thank you to the mods who are posting all the links for the website and the YouTube and the Instagram and the Facebook. I do really, really appreciate that.
All right, I got a question for Ed.
Yes.
If you could only have one fish for the next year, one fish, what fish would you pick?
My guppies.
That's more than one fish, Ed. One fish.
If I was going to lose all my fish but one, I would keep my banded vicer.
All right, there we go. Cool. And what about you? For a year, you could only have one fish. What would it be?
That is really tough.
See how it feels when you get put on the spot on these live videos? See, James is speechless right now, folks.
There's no right answer, because if I say a piranha, then I'm losing 20-something piranha.
Right.
If I say a zebra pleco, the people are going to go, what about the rest of the colony?
Right. I got you.
But honestly, I think it would have to probably be the zebra pleco. One of them. I mean, that was a dream fish for a long time. Cool. As much as I love the piranhas, it's a hard choice, but I could get the entire pack, if you will, or school or shoal of piranhas replaced a year from now for what that one zebra pleco costs.
Yeah, it would have been easier if you would have said one tank.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No,
I
wanted to make
taken the ornate vipers, but I can't imagine them not with each other.
Yeah, right. I got you.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to reverse the role there for a minute.
I like it. Absolutely. So no, it does not have a date for Aquacon. It's going to be this fall, but we will have more details coming
Correct.
out.
We will try to have a date in the next 4 weeks or so. But tell you the other thing, I know we're getting ready to wrap up here, but real quick, even when we were getting the tent, they called back and canceled on us because of COVID.
That's what
all the tents had to be designated for COVID, and then the rental companies were not allowed to pick them back up. They were having to be destroyed by the CDC or somebody else. So they were having to order tents, and they were on back. So even the tent part became a debacle during COVID. And it's just amazing to me. So when you're going to a local fish store or any store, and don't hate on when they can't get stuff. I mean, we've gotten food jars in with tie-dye lids because they can't find enough black plastic to melt to make lids for 5,000 jars for Extreme or somebody, Omega, whoever it was. So we're getting stuff in with pink and polka dot lids at times. And so just be patient if there's not something not on the shelf, because I promise you they're trying to put it on there.
Absolutely.
Terry, favorite koi fish? No? What's one in your river you're looking forward to? Anything?
Not really. The fish are in the other pond. I did put, a customer brought in some that she was moving to Florida and was shutting down her pond. So she brought in some goldfish and some other small koi. I gave my dad the koi, and I took some of the smaller goldfish just to kind of get them in there and get my pond cycling. They're doing great. They're in there with there's actually a pleco in there. I don't know how he ended up in there, but he's doing great. I've still got a few things to tinker with and upgrade on the pond, because it's not just a pond. There's, like you said, there's actual creek that's going down through it. I've got to get a return pump going and getting that water going through the creek. But other than that,
I keep waiting for a kayak to be out there next to it. It's not that long, but yeah.
I've got a question. Now, you just mentioned a customer brought these fish in. Do you have any customers that bring in fish like that for you to sell on your shelves, or do you just order?
No, we will work with local hobbyists, but what we have to realize is that with our distributors, we get warranties, we get overnight DOAs, different things like that. So we have a lot of backup plans, if you will, for ordering. So when we take direct trade-ins, we don't really have a facility to take your 50 guppies you bring us and put it in the back room and hold it for 7 days. That's super expensive. 7 days of food, a lot of revenue. We're not ordering from a vendor, and they come in either methyl blue, machete green, however they choose to ship the fish. They're already being semi-medicated, so the dipping process is happening. We dip when they get here and acclimate. So once they get into the store, so it's a little bit different. So we typically try to give 30-35% trade-in for what we're going to try to sell it for, because the risk is all on us at that point. So we do want to work with local hobbyists, but we do have, we're going to get this put on the webpage, but our drop-off or request to drop-off procedures, one, we need to be notified. Call before you pack up any fish and head to the store. There's no guarantee we have room for it, especially if you bring us a fish in that's been fighting with another fish, and we can't really put it.
We get Oscars a lot, and sometimes they're huge, and we just we want you to make sure that we have the space first.
Yeah, you're not a rescue.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
we're not set up. We don't have a big swimming pool out back like Rich and some of the other people that chunk them in. But just be mindful and communicate. But yes, we want to get New York Cardenas shrimp. We want to get plecos. We want to get cories. If we can work with local hobbyists, that's great. So just contact the store. Isaac's our freshwater intake store manager. Freshwater is his primary thing. So he's the one we're going to point to. So just call the store and ask for Isaac. He is off on Sundays and Mondays. So
We could have Isaac's wave real quick.
yeah. Hey, Isaac, come here. Isaac's
He's
still here
walking
working. Look at the camera over there and just wave. Hey, everybody say hi to Isaac. Put him on the spot here. So if you have local fish trade-ins, just call the store and ask for Isaac.
Definitely. The last thing I want to say, a lot of people have mentioned certain dates that other things are going on. I promise you, we're going to look very in depth at those, just like we did last year, and we're going to line it up with the proper orbit of the moon and
Yeah,
all that.
they don't know it yet, but you're looking at the planning board right here.
I mean,
All four of us. Ed's been indoctrinated.
we literally took college football home games into account because of the crowds that they bring, especially during a rivalry game. So we're going to look at all that stuff and make it the most accessible weekend for everybody to get to. So we'll have
And if
more
it doesn't
information.
go well, we'll blame Ed.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. He
Well,
doesn't
I'm the guy with all the dates for all the events. So as soon as we get it, I promise I'll start announcing it
Yes,
too.
there we go.
Well, we've taken an hour of your time and added on to an extremely long day for you all. I want to say I appreciate you. And I know you know that, but I still want to say that. Not just for tonight, but for everything you do for the community, for the hobby, for little guys like us that are just trying to spread the love of the fish, you know?
But I don't look at you guys as little guys. Y'all are voices for this hobby and this industry, and what you all are doing is don't discount what you're doing. It's far more powerful and encouraging to people, especially through COVID. I mean, what you guys brought the hobby into people that were struggling, maybe in those towns that didn't have a local fish store, but yet they could live vicariously a little bit through you and your videos. So don't discount your contribution to this industry at all. I think that's super key for everybody here. And I'm not just saying that because you're on the board for Aquaticon. I'm just saying that because it's true. I mean, we all have, I think 99% of the hobbyists are of pure heart, and they want everybody to succeed.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do. If you've got any final words you'd like to throw out there.
I just would like to say thank you to my team. I know a lot of this comes up Kinny, and stuff, but I assure you, I'm not doing this alone. I have some of the greatest people in the world. I never would have thought we had 13 employees, 13 or 14. I've lost count. I can't remember how many checks I printed and signed this week, but 13 or 14 employees now. And it's amazing when I sit back and look. I mean, the second day I bought the store, I sat over here in the fish room floor and cried because there was 30-something leaks in the wall, 30-something leaks, and I didn't even know where to start.
No.
So it's been an emotional commitment that has to be regenerated almost daily, because some days you walk in, you open that door, you look through and you look for water on the floor. I walk up, and if I ever walk up and there's so much water on the floor I can't even tell where it came from, I'm just going to go sit in my truck till my staff gets here. But just I can't. It's not
He has
just me.
done that. Not sit in his truck, but wait for the staff to get here to handle certain things.
Owner privileges, I guess. We're a team here. I mean, everybody wants to be the very best. And you know what? I want to thank everybody for their reviews, even if they're not 5 stars. Let me tell you something. Reviews make businesses better. And we don't deny anything. You post it. I'm not asking you to take it down. It is your opinion, your feelings. We're going to respond. We're going to be professional, and we're going to reach out to you for an opportunity to fix it. We can't give everything away, but we will do our best to resolve the issue, make us a better store. So I encourage you all to just leave reviews. If you haven't left a review for your local fish store in a while, by all means, do what you can to help them this week.
Absolutely. Well, again, a huge thank you to you and your staff, like you said, because they're all awesome. Ed, as always, thank you for being on. It's always fun talking with you. All the members, the moderators, the lurkers, the listeners, the super chatters and contributors, and of course, that awesome replay crew. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Be sure, if you're anywhere near Knoxville, it's worth the drive to come on down. Check out Aquatic Marine, 6655 Clinton Highway. I got it, didn't I? All right.
Yes.
Good deal.
And you get a first-time visitor's gift if you've never been here.
You do, and that's awesome. But I appreciate you guys. Until next time, you know the drill. Keep your fish healthy. Keep yourselves healthy. Get yourself a little fish room fever. Take care.